Yeah,
it's just straight like that. I can't imagine how it got the other
fact.
way, except for if it had said television is more popular than Jesus, I might have got away with it. In fact, in reference to England, that we meant more to kids than Jesus did, or religion at that time. I wasn't knocking it or putting it down. I was just saying it as a fact, and it is true, especially more for England than here. Saying that we're better or greater, or comparing us with Jesus Christ as a person, or God as a thing, or whatever it is. I just said what I said, and it was wrong, or was taken wrong, and now it's all this easier to raise flagging popularity. I don't know. You can think of stunts. We don't do stunts. I think we've done one in our lives. It's been completely a stunt.
But anyway, that's not the kind of thing that's going.
I am, yes. Even though it's not. I never meant what people think I meant by it. I'm still sorry I opened my mouth.
That the Beatles are more popular than Christ?
When I was talking about it, it was very close and intimate with this person that I know who happens to be a reporter. And I was using expressions on things that I just read and derived about Christianity. Only I was saying it in the simplest form that I know, which is the natural way I talk. They're more popular than Jesus and so and so and so and so. But she took them, and people that know me took them exactly as it was, because they know that's how I talk,
Can we talk about your music a little bit? You've gone a long ways from I Want to Hold Your Hand to Eleanor Rigby. The raga and so on. What direction are you trying to move your music?
I think we're just trying to move it in a forward direction. And this is the point. This is why we're getting in all these messes with saying things. Because, we're just trying to move forward. And people seem to be trying to just sort of hold us back and not want us to say anything that's vaguely sort of, inflammatory. I mean, we won't, if people don't want that, then we won't do it. We'll sort of just do it privately. But I think it's better for everyone if we're just honest about the whole thing.
In this moving forward, have you
remarks every place you go for a long time. How are you going to respond after tonight? You're going to try and explain yourself every time somebody asks?
Well, I'll try if they keep asking me. I'll try. I'll go on and on trying until I get it straight. Because I just don't like to be sort of thought of as what I'm really not. It's nothing like me. The sort of the thing they're putting around is nothing to do with me as a person.
When's Paul going to get married?
To hear the reaction of the other three gentlemen to what Mr. Lennon was quoted as saying, if that's possible this time. What about you? What was your reaction to what he said and the reaction to what he said?
Well, what the context it was meant was the fact that Christianity is declining, and everybody knows about that. And that was the fact that was trying to be made.
But we do agree with that?
I do agree. I agree that it's on the wane, but I mean...
I quoted a recent statement by you that the Beatles were anxious for what they called the downfall, that is, the time when they would no longer be up on top.
Well, I don't know what that is. No.
I don't think we ever said that.
I don't know what that is.
If we were really anxious for it, we'd just do something.
We'd do it, That's the thing, if we really wanted to get out.
Because we made a mistake, people think we did it trying to say, oh, they must have done it on purpose, they must have a reason, Yeah. So I made a mistake by opening my mouth, but we didn't. There was no ulterior motive in it either way.
What about these stories, the effect that you're not as nice to your father as you
Don't say that.
It was him. He said it.
Now, you all saw that.
Put in words into your mouth there.
Well, what is the most enjoyable thing about the success?
That other people enjoy it. Well, some other people.
And people liking records that you like particularly, or that you like, that sort of people that know what we're doing on record, whether they followed us from a long time or just started. And they're the people I like.
Can we take this as the last question?
Yes, all right.
You're going to be asking this question about...
You are suggesting that since you did say it so long ago, and since so much has been made of it now, that it's all a stunt to raise flagging popularity. Is this possible?
I mean, I could think of something. I mean, if somebody like us says it, people sort of do take notice. Even church people are trying to be with it, with sort of pop groups and things. They're still doing it the wrong way, and I was just stating a fact as I saw it, and I wasn't trying to compare me or the group with Jesus or religion at all, but just only in that way, in the way I'm trying to tell you.
Now, there have even been threats on your life as a result of this. There have even been threats against your life. There have been record burnings. You've been banned from some radio stations. Does this bother you?
Well, it worries me.
Yeah, you know, it's bound to bother us.
Do you think you're being crucified?
No, I wouldn't say that at all.
How do you feel about the record burnings here in the United States?
Well, I think, you know, that it's a bit silly. It seems a bit like a publicity stunt on their part, you know. I think, you know, that they're not going to gain anything by doing that.
If they just didn't buy the
it's just
records
a
or
pity
didn't
that
throw
they've
them
got
away,
the
you know, but
wrong
burning them
impression.
is...
They've just taken it the wrong way, and that's just the pity that it's this misunderstanding which shouldn't be.
Mr. Starr, you haven't said a word. What do you have to say?
Well, I just hope it's all over now, you know. I hope everyone's straightened out and it's finished.
Are you concerned that your image may be changing and being diminished in the eyes of the kids?
Now, listen, the thing is, people ask us questions, and we could do the whole show business bit of answering very vague answers and doing a very dishonest thing. But, you know, all we're trying to do is answer honestly. And, you know, if people want us to answer like showbiz personalities, we'll do that, you know. But I think it's better for us and for everyone else if we answer honestly, even though we may not be right all the time, you know.
Do you think you fellows are slipping any? Do you think you're being supplanted by some of the newer groups?
I'll tell you what I'd like to do.
Hold it up for a minute. Roll it just a minute.
We're a deadline to beat.
Rolling?
Anybody who's not rolling?
Give that interview. So what did you mean in it? The famous.
Wait a minute.
Do you want to say it again?
Now go. Is that interview accurate? And if so, what did you mean in it?
I don't think we're being supplanted, you know. I mean, you could probably prove that our records don't sell as fast as this time last year, but we still only compare our record sales, and we always have done, with other people's, you know. And other people's are still, we're still in advance of other people's, the people that we compete against.
That same reporter who quoted you on the Jesus statement also.
Well, I don't know my father. I saw him twice in my life till I was 22 when he turned up after I'd had a few hit records. And I saw him, I spoke to him, and I decided I still didn't want to know him. And that's all there is to it. If you'd like to go around and see all my nice good acts, you can look them up in your book, you know. He just happens to be delayed.
Or considered changing your style, not your musical style, but your appearance, perhaps haircuts?
Well, it's changed all the time, really, our style.
I mean, we look different every time we come to America. If you look at the old photographs, you know, we never keep.
You can see how it's changed.
But no, it's
No.
just that we don't control ourselves that much to say. We must look the same for 12 months.
Yourself last year, you probably changed the
Yeah.
same.
It's not been done by any design.
No.
No, you know, it's just
Does
that
mean
your hair is
longer?
Probably, yeah.
It could be. I don't think mine is.
You have going for short hair.
No, I don't like short hair. You know.
Well, we
so
don't
why
follow
should I?
fashion anyway.
When are you gonna
Short
make another
hair's
movie?
more in.
Probably
Maybe
next
January with any luck.
Any idea what it's going to be about? Or
There's no
Well,
real idea
there's
yet.
just a small idea. There's no script yet.
What is-
they're going to do it?
Maybe.
It depends on how
We
the
can't
script
tell, you
comes
see,
out.
till it
The
gets-
man's
What
writing
is
it down.
what's the most enjoyable thing to you about this adulation, this almost godhood on earth that you've achieved?
I don't know. I have no idea yet. Yeah, can you do that?
Can we have just one more question? I'd like to ask your reaction to the fact that at London Airport this morning, some of the girls were crying, "John, not Jesus."
Well, you know, I don't take that seriously
You see,
either.
they've taken it the wrong way, like everyone else, you know.
Well, are you
They've gone
unhappy
the
about
other way.
that then?
But if they hear, you know, it'll get straightened out because, I mean, I could have stopped there and said, now listen, that's wrong what you're saying, you know, but I couldn't do that. I had to come over here anyway and do all this and try and straighten this out first. So when if it does get straighthtened out, it'll be straightened out for them.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
I thought you were going to be nasty.